Hello and welcome to the Dream Team Tonic podcast as we preview Game Week 6 Sun Dream Team, a European double game week. And we've got a very special guest to help us with that preview. Jim DALY, podcaster, stand-up comedian, Crystal Palace fan, most importantly for the episode. And as we were just speaking about a minute ago, bit of a fantasy football addict. I'm sure we all know some of those. How are you doing, mate? You good?
Not too bad. Thanks so much for having me. Love the intro. That was good that you've got some really recent commentary clips there. I thought was great. And that music made me feel like I was back at Jumping Jacks in 2007. That really took me back. So thanks for that little trip down memory lane.
Jumping Jacks, is that everywhere? Was that a chain?
In East Grinstead, it was the only place to go. So
we had a Jumping Jacks in Las Vegas.
There you go. The only two places in the world
as well.
Oh my word! There you go.
Oh, you learn something new every day. And Tony, how are you? You all right?
Oh, I'm good, mate. Good. Pleasure to be on. Nice to meet you, Jim. Looking forward to the episode with you.
And Ben, coming in loud and clear over there.
Yeah, all good, mate. Looking forward to this one.
Good stuff. New laptops on order.
Send you one back.
That's been a saga, isn't it? Okay, hello to everyone in the chat. We'll just say a quick hello, and then we're going to see how Jim's been getting on this season on Dream Team. And we've got Steve in the chat. We've got Icars, Josh Baker, Ian, James made it. Getting a bit of jet lag, he said. Miss Noopy's there. Nobbles, Roberto, Joe, Gary, Sam, Philip. Congrats. We'll mention that in a minute. We're big time now, lads. Big time.
I've been here for 5 minutes and already you're getting nominated for awards.
That's the influence. Right, let's get straight into it. Jim, how long have you been playing Dream Team?
I was trying to work this out actually. So my Dream Team intro, my origin story, is I think it was the 2021 Euros. It was definitely a summer tournament, and the person that introduced it to me was my personal trainer, a guy called Sam, who's a lovely guy, and I've been training with him almost 10 years now. And what's nice is we've become really good mates, which is great. Although I realized the other day that means I'm basically paying him to be my friend. But that aside, he is a great guy. But he's really into fantasy football as well, and he joined a Dream Team league that was set up, mini league set up by one of his clients' mates or something. God, I don't think he's even met, but what happens in mini leagues? Mates of mates of mates join. So he'd been in this mini league and he was like, you need to get on this. It's really good. And I was like, I've got enough going on in my life. I don't need another fantasy game. And eventually he broke me down and I gave it a go for that summer tournament. And of course, obviously rules a bit different then. I spunked my transfers for that tournament, I think in the first round of matches and struggled, but there was something quite addictive about that app. So I then I must have been the season after I joined their mini league. And again, I think I had a terrible season. But there's something, as you guys will know, there's something about DT that is just really addictive. I don't know if it's just the layout of the app, the fact that you can make your transfers straight after the deadline goes and you can play around with them all week and you can see how it looks in your team without actually it ticking over. The fact there's only one round of price changes. I don't know, something about it. And so eventually I got into it. And then in the last 3 or 4 years, me and Sam have basically just been winning that mini league alternatively, which is a nice little, there's 20 people in there, 20 quid a pop, whatever. So it's a nice little earner. Apart from this summer, so Sam won it last year by 1 point. He won it by 1 point because I forgot to play one of my chips until the last weekend. I think it was Matt's captain. And so I had to gamble and I got it and it just didn't work out. So I lost by 1 point. I should have played that earlier. This year I won it at a canter. But the guy that runs the league, and I won't name him, who knows? He might be watching. Hasn't paid up. In fact, he's run off with the money.
Oh God!
All of the prize money.
Yeah, it's a decent little kitty. Well, I say
genuinely disappeared.
Well, basically, because Sam doesn't know him, he's like a mate of a mate of a mate. He just got his number, so he's been texting him saying, "Where are you?" Heard nothing all summer, and then last week, this guy got back and was like, I'm so sorry, I've done you guys dirty or something like that. So we were like, oh wow, he really was planning to run off with the money. I'll pay you at the weekend. Of course, that weekend has come and gone. I was like, there's no way he's paying us. I'd be surprised if I ever see this money. And what is it now? 22nd of September. Still haven't seen it. So it might be a nice little boost at some point. But we're into the next season's league. In fact, he's now not running the league. Someone else has set it up, and there's only a few of us.
Good idea.
It's been a whole fallout. So that's the impact I've had in that mini league. But yeah, ever since that first summer, I've just been addicted.
That's always a sign when you're doing too well, isn't it? Someone runs off for the cash.
I think we've been doing basically because we just been. I think each summer that guy's hoping that me and Sam don't enter, and then we enter. And because I see him like twice a week, we basically just talk about fantasy football during our sessions. Little tip: it's a very good way to distract your personal trainer and stop them making you do workouts. If you just are then ask some questions about who they're going to get in the brilliant tactic. Although he's worked it out now, but we're both pretty obsessed with it. So we end up just, as you guys know, the more you obsess over something and like the more time you put into it, the better the outcome with fantasy sports. So we just end up dominating that league. Usually, in theory, yeah.
Talking about robberies, Jim. England's had some famous robberies all the time. The Great Train Robbery, the Brinks-Mac Gold Bullion, the Hatton Garden. But honestly, none of them come close to Crystal Palace absolutely robbing Blackburn Rovers, only paying 22 million for Adam Morton. How's that happen?
I don't know. He is unbelievable. I mean, he's gonna go on from us to one of the big teams in Europe, not just like Premier League.
Yeah.
And actually, he's one of the few players because our whole model is buy from the Championship and then plug them into the team and sell them on. Done it with Gahey. Well, we're gonna lose Gahey for nothing, but look, we've had a good 5 years out of him. Did it with Elise, did it with Eze. But Wharton is one of those few players that when we got him in, was it last January?
Yeah,
he went straight into the first team and looked like he'd been playing in the Premier League for 10 years. He's
strange.
So comfortable. He's just, and he doesn't even like, sometimes players are like uber cocky, uber confident. You think that's the confidence going to work for you. He seems like such a lovely, quiet, mild-mannered lad. Doesn't even seem like a footballer.
He's got an elegance, hasn't he?
Oh, absolutely. He's beautiful. I can't believe over the last few years I've got to watch the likes of Wharton, Eze, Elise, Gahey in this team. Sometimes all together. At one point, they may have all been the same. Must have been a couple of games. But like, we are, as a Palace fan that supported them since the early 90s, and where they've been in administration twice I've had to think like, who am I going to support? Am I going to support like a AFC Palace? Like, am I going to go and support like Crawley? Like, what am I going to do? Twice to think that. At one point in 2005, we spelled our name wrong on our own badge. And that's literally the level of team you're talking about. For us to now be not just an established Premier League team, a top Premier League team with this quality of players like, I mean, a Wharton's up there for me in terms of natural ability, but when we had Elise, I've never been so convinced that I'm watching a Palace player that's going to win a Ballon d'Or. I'd not even like be nominated. I'm convinced Elise. And look what he's done in the year or so. He's been
straight away.
Yeah.
So these are glory times. When my kids are old enough and they're like, tell me about the glory days 2025 when we're back in the Championship and losing to Portsmouth. Like these are literally the glory days of being a Palace fan.
Yeah. Enjoy it.
If we were just talking off air just then, I mentioned that I sometimes watch podcasts of other teams to get a bit of the insight. But did you want to give your pod a quick plug as well?
Yeah, so I host a Palace podcast. It's called 5-Year Plan or The 5-Year Plan or FYP. We've been going for a long time. Our first episode was 2008, if you can believe that. Before that, it was a fanzine. Back in the day, that's how old I am. My podcast came out on paper. Yeah, I'm ancient. So it's a fanzine, and then it became a podcast, and we've been going for a long, long time. And I've become actually similar to my personal friend, mates with a lot of Palace fans through that. So come on, some of my closest mates at Palace are through the podcast. So it's lovely. So if you're into Palace, check out 5-Year Plan. If you're not, I wouldn't recommend it. It is mostly Palace, but I enjoy doing it. It's a lot of fun.
Well, run us through your team here. Just the one Palace player in here. But how's your season been going so far?
And the wrong one. That was a punt. That was a big punt. That was one of those. Being a Palace fan, knowing our lack of options, I was like, well, Pino's definitely going to play both games. And obviously he didn't have a good, and now he's injured. So he's probably going to have to come out, probably for another Palace player. I'm thinking possibly actually Kamada. But anyway, I'm doing okay. So I had a really good season last year. Obviously, I try really hard not to like chase overall rank. I just think like I concentrate on mini leagues. I think if I do well in my mini leagues, in theory, I'm probably then going to have a good overall rank or certainly be okay. And also that's where the money is. Like, don't wanna make myself look like the most callous person in the world, but I like money. So I try and do well in the mini leagues. And often, towards the end of the season, I then often start playing people in those mini leagues. If I'm top, I'll do that really annoying thing. I'll look at who's second and just block off the players. Just pick who they've got. It's a terrible way. I'm a very defensive fantasy football player as well. In fact, actually, this is the first season I'm playing slightly more aggressively and taking a few more risks. The keeper's a risk. Pino's a risk. And it's okay. I think my rank is 8k at the moment. So it's not terrible, but like it's been a weird season. To be honest, Scott, you're the reason I've got that goalkeeper. So I got you to thank.
We're all on him, aren't we?
Oh, mate, he's been brilliant, and I think pays into. I try not to really spend too much in the defense and goalkeeper because like they let in goals so frequently. Although I guess this season feels like more clean sheets than normal, but I think the last couple of seasons there's been like articles on how it's like the fewest clean sheets in a couple of years. So I was like, well, I'm just not going to spend big. I'll just go cheap on people that play and see what happens. And he's really paid off. Coyote hasn't paid off. And before Keane, I had Ballard for that 1 week he got injured. He didn't pay off. Before Keane, who did I have? Someone else. Oh, De Kuiper hasn't paid off.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a gamble. I think the rest of my team going forward, Palmer's probably going to have to go, but the rest of my team is fairly more sort of set and forget almost. At the front, that's probably the best front three in the game, I think, or certainly at the moment in terms of reliability. Kudos, I think, will tick over. Semenyo, I do have in the other game. I won't say the name, but I do like to. I don't know if I'll get like chucked off the stream or blocked.
No,
an alarm will start going off. Woo, woo,
it's not as bad. It's not as bad as being on an FPL one talking about this game.
Oh, but I did that last week. I know. I was on. Yeah, I was on one last week, and I'm happy to talk about John Dean too. I think I'm happy to do that. But I like to cover. So if I've got, because it's so hard now to get everyone you want. So if I've got a player in one game I can't get, I'll then use the other one to try and get them. So then I feel I'm a bit covered. So if someone scores in a game, I'm like, well, at least I got them in one side and not lost the point. Haaland's the only one I've got in both at the moment. So I think at the moment he's just, you basically, you need him. He's on such a run. And Semenyo I've got in both. But I'm not sure about him in this one. Because basically it's now the start of the part of the season where I think you just start targeting the doubles.
Definitely, yeah.
In fact, obviously for the minutes, but also just to keep the midweeks interesting. I think otherwise,
definitely,
it's a long wait until that next Saturday deadline. So
that's the main selling point, isn't it, of the game?
And it's so good, and that's how Sam got me into it. He was like, "You will then like it's more engaging during the week," and he's absolutely right. Although you do end up watching some, watching Chelsea play Noah. And you're desperately hoping that Tyreek George, or whatever his name would play. You do end up in some pretty dark places. And I think actually that'll be the same with Palace. I mean, physically, I'll be going to some dark places watching Palace in Europe, but also trying to get their players in. I think
you're going to be going to a few of the UA ones.
Well, yeah. So I've actually got a bit. We recorded my Palace podcast earlier, and I had to make an admission. I've bought travel, accommodation, and flights and everything for all 3 away games in the Conference League. The first one is away in. It's Dynamo Kiev. Obviously, they can't play in Ukraine. So it's in Lublin in Poland in a week and a half's time. And I, for some reason, 2 weeks ago, or 11 days ago, 12 days ago, I panicked that my passport was running out. And it runs out in February. And I panicked and renewed my passport. And I'll blame the ADHD. I didn't really take into account how long it takes for a passport to renew. I was like, be a couple of days, a week or something. Didn't even pay for the fast track, just normal. And as I did it, didn't think anything of it for a few days. And then I got an email like 4 days later saying, like, we've got your documents. Because I'm also changing my last name. Because me and my wife got married a few years ago and we want to double barrel our names. So we've got the same name as our kids. And I thought, hang on, this is going to be quite tight, isn't it? The game's in like 2 weeks. And I Googled it and it was like 6 to 8 weeks. I was like, oh,
crap.
I've fucked myself here. Sorry. I've screwed myself. And that was straight on the customer advice line. It's like, can you do anything? This is my details. And they were like, sorry, there's people that are trying to see their dying family members and you just want to go to watch Crystal Palace play there. So, and also there's no button we can press. There's nothing we can do. I got on the live chat. The lady there was very dismissive. So I've got a week and a half. I got 12 days.
To source a fake passport.
If anyone on the chat knows how to get a good fake passport, do get in contact.
Sort them out.
adds a bit of jeopardy to it. But I don't think I can get all the money back on all my flights and stuff like that. So and also, if it does come in time, I then got to change the name on my flights because I've got a new name.
Yeah.
What was I thinking?
Oh,
A complete own goal. So in theory, yes, I should be there in Poland, but I think there's a high chance I won't be. So I've completely shot myself in the foot. But having said that, it's very Palace to do that. Very Palace. So it's on brand.
Fingers crossed for you.
Thanks. Yeah.
What moves did you make this week then?
Keane came in and Palmer came in. So Palmer hasn't played off and probably won't. Oh, I knew Palmer would only play one game. When he went off, sort of 20 minutes on Sunday, the fantasy player in me was like, oh, if that's not too bad, maybe that means he'll get some minutes against Lincoln. And like, you're convincing
exactly
yourself.
what I said.
Obviously, yeah,
it's
not going to happen. Like,
No chance.
especially if he's now turns out it's a slight injury. They're going to obviously rest him, but your mind does go to some strange places. Starts doing some real sort of like mental arithmetic. Keane I got because I thought possibly might play the second game, but I knew the first one would be a gamble. I should have gone last week. I got Pino and I should have gone Richards. That was what I was toying with. But these are the gambles you make early on in the season. So it's yeah. But Palmer's coming out again. In fact, do you know? I didn't know Pedro was injured. That's interesting. Okay, well,
yeah, I don't know how serious that is.
Yeah,
might be a bit of Maresca sulking maybe. But we'll grill you on a few of the Palace players in a bit because even I snuck in your DMs, didn't I, the other day, asking about the defenders.
And I should take my own advice. I should have taken my own advice on that. I think, but
even that ended up being. Sometimes you just can't call it though, can you? Because Richards he didn't start. Yeah. But then he came on and scored, so he's just.
And I was thinking of you when he scored. I was sat there right in front of him as you celebrated.
I was thinking of you.
But that's the way it is, isn't it? And that, I think as well, like there is actually getting serious for a minute, guys. There is actually a good little indication on how to manage your mental health with fantasy football because, like, you can don't play it. Don't even touch it. Don't even go near it. But I think it's taught me about maybe like letting things go a bit because like nothing you can do about when it goes wrong, and it is very annoying, and you can sulk about it for the whole weekend. But you just have to let it go. It's one of these things, and then move on to the next thing. But it is hard. It is really hard.
What was your thought process on the captaincy? Because Tony was giving some grief in our Discord. I went Salah like you. These two didn't go Salah. What were you thinking there? It was obviously a single versus potential doubles, wasn't it?
Well, it was also the old covering myself. So I went Haaland in the other one. So because I did that, I was like, I'm going to go Salah in this one. My theory over the course of the season is I don't know about Salah. I mean, obviously, in DT, having the midweeks makes him a lot more attractive. But there's something about, and he's jammed his way to some points this season, big time in those last minutes. Newcastle, the assist against Newcastle, goal against Burnley. There's something about, maybe Liverpool fans in the chat might tell me I'm wrong, but it looks to me like they are.
He's finished.
He's finished. He's done. He's cooked. As the kids
say how it is.
I just think they are. Don't know. Maybe moving away. Not, he's Mo Salah. He'll obviously be on everything, but I don't know with Isak and Ekitike and Wirtz. I don't know. It just feels to me like we might be on the start of the Salah decline.
Beginning of the end.
Maybe. But
Jim,
maybe.
Jim, so you captain Salah. So there were a little bit of a discussion in the Discord about just see if this describes you. If you captain Salah this week, you're the type of person who has missionary as your wildest position, irons socks on a Sunday for fun, and calls it a big night out when you order a pint of shandy. You've still got your year 9 haircut, still clap when the plane lands, and probably think that garlic mayo counts as spicy. Your Spotify has never seen the shuffle button. Your wardrobe is 14 shades of grey t-shirts, and you definitely own Crocs for the comfort. Captaining Salah is the dream team equivalent of shagging with the lights off, socks on, and asking if they fancy a cuddle afterwards. Safe, yes. Exciting, absolutely not. No.
Yeah, I stand by all of that. The only thing I will refute is Crocs. How dare you? For the rest of it,
there you are, Scott.
Spot on.
He sent it in, and I sent him a picture straight back. I was wearing Crocs at the time.
Yeah, I would like. I am traditionally very conservative as a fantasy player because I just think, especially early on, stay with the pack, and then you can make sexy moves later on. Not that my wife would know what that is, and then. But I think this is what actually this season's be different for me. I would never have picked Pino before. Like, I am something's happened, something's gone on inside my brain. I don't know what it is, but normally I'm quite conservative. And also, if you don't pick a differential and they go off, I think that's easier to get over than if you don't pick Salah and he goes off. Because then you're like, well, come on, you didn't go Salah. But if you didn't go Jeremy Pino and he gets a hat trick, you're like, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Never heard of this guy before 2 weeks ago. So I think it's just easier.
Talking of sexy picks then, Tony.
Yeah, not having a great week. You see all them 4 Chelsea players. Oh, there, got me beers ready. I'm looking forward to this night of football. I'm thinking Chelsea would absolutely do a job on them. And 5 minutes in, my night were ruined. Might as well just switched it off. Gusto didn't start. Palmer goes off at about 20 minutes. I said, what is happening? And then now the other Chelsea lads flagged. But yeah, it wasn't a great day of football. That were off the back of but then onto the Sunday when Aston Villa turn up at Sunderland and or don't turn up. Ollie Watkins, Cons are losing the clean sheet. Yeah, it's not been a great week. You stay positive, didn't you, Scott? Messaged me to say it's only half time.
Yeah.
Wasn't one to savour. Reinders and Haaland did a little bit against Arsenal. Then he's decided to bring on every centre half he's got on bench. I just don't know what we're going on. 48 points at week, 440. The flags are worrying me a little bit now with Palmer and Pedro, especially when I've got Watkins and Konza. I'm just hoping do a bit midweek because I've already took a 0.3 drop on Watkins to get him in. Last thing I want is another risk of a drop and still having Palmer and Pedro to sort. So
surely he's got to have a shot.
I mean, do you see that header that he just didn't head?
Yeah, shocking.
Well, I mean, that's meat and drink for him usually. A bit burying that. He couldn't keep on side. He just looked a yard off it. Yeah, nice one, Gary.
Where's the music? People asking for the violin music.
Stop me in my tracks. We're gonna stop moaning now. Yeah, I think I'm something like 9 or 10k at the minute. But again, half time. Got a lot to tidy up in that team.
Ollie Watkins will come good.
Hopefully,
if not this week, maybe next week.
There are so many weeks though, aren't there, where like you do have a slow start and then something happens midweek. It happens so often, and you think, oh, that's not too bad in the end. Watkins could easily get a couple against Bologna, and you just don't know. It could be a clean sheet for Konsa. It's just, that is the kind of the beauty and the downfall of Dream. Actually, no, it's just the beauty. I don't know why I said downfall, because it's not over on a Sunday night, and there's more to look forward to, and you can save it. You can be saved, and actually, Watkins is a good pick for that double. Who's going to play that double? Your Chelsea guys probably won't, but he will. So same with Konsa. So it made sense. Yeah. It's just they look. I don't know what's going on with them. They look very strange, but they're a good team. So surely it will click at some point. History would suggest that there would, a team like that doesn't stay bad for long.
Or if Emery goes, you'll have to wait for the new manager bounce.
Exactly. Yeah, get Pulis in. They'll be, they'll get the new bounce. They'll be fine. But yeah, it's a weird one this season.
I think he's come out after that and called him lazy, hasn't
he? Did he?
Yeah. Has he?
Yeah, apparently he's called his players lazy.
Doesn't normally go down well, that does it, with modern football?
No, and I think there's something there. There's the rumblings of he upset a few. Do you know when he were playing the lone players in the Champions League and Watkins weren't getting the game and such? Apparently, there's rumblings that it didn't go down well within the squad, that he were choosing them over the contracted players. And I mean, it's easy to say in it when they're having a bit of a bad start that's rumbling on through into this. But he's a good manager, Emery. Obviously, he's feeling a little bit disillusioned. I don't. But I mean, they looked leggy. They looked off it, so he's probably not wrong. I don't think they're lazy. I just think they're not quite putting everything into it. Possibly.
They need a bit of team building. They need to go paintball or something together.
Yeah, they did. Go to Dubai and get smashed.
A bit of fun.
And
Yeah.
see what happens. That was Big Sam style.
Come to FCA's with us.
Go on, Ben.
Go on, you want to listen? Bloody hell, Tony's moaning about his score.
Oh, yeah.
36 points.
We're not allowed to play that music anyway, are we? It gets the pod
Yeah.
kicked off YouTube. So
Yeah, 36 points. And I'm not bottom of one lowest score out the door. I'm bottom of 2 leagues that lowest score out the door. So, yeah, very good week. Yeah, I think I've still got plenty to play for, like you say. I brought in Watkins. I know he was going down in price, but I just fancied him for this double game week. And I've captained him. He had the chances, but couldn't put him away. So he's got spaghetti bolognese on Tuesday when they're playing Thursday. Let's hope he does the business. The other transfer was Doku, who come in. He went up 0.3, and I want him for the next game week as well. So I'm pretty happy with 5 points against Arsenal. And he probably was he 1 point off of?
Good.
He was 1 point off of a free bonus as well. Yeah, he's getting a run of. It's funny, isn't it? Because he won't let Grealish dribble, but since he sold Grealish, loaned him out, he's gone. Oh, well, actually, you dribble Doku now. You can do it now. Crazy. Why didn't you just let Grealish do it as well?
He's gone full backwards on everything now.
Pep's in the middle of a weird midlife crisis. No, not even midlife crisis. Yeah. Late life. No, not late life. Whatever. 3/4 life. I think he's just like going through an overthinking spell. We're just massively overthinking his team, his touchline attire, like everything's.
He's in the fourth official.
Yeah, exactly. He's having a weird time. I hope he's okay. He's having a weird time.
Have you noticed he puts like spit in his mouth when he sat there on the bench and he goes, he's messing with spit and he keeps like spitting out his lips. My missus keeps going, what is he doing?
same conversations in our house.
Yeah, crazy.
He's an interesting guy. Did you see his post-match interview? I mean, both managers are really spiky in their post-match, but Pep left that interview by giving the reporter like daggers. The reporter did seem quite annoying.
They kept trying to get him to say about the recovery time, didn't they?
And then Pep just didn't even say goodbye. It was like gave him daggers and walked off. It was he's in a real spiky mood. Something's gone up. I don't know, but yeah, I just don't trust him for any fantasy players. I just find him gets so annoyed by Pep roulette. So I mean, Haaland at the moment seems obviously nailed, but there've been spells last season where you're not even sure about that. So
I think that was the third league game in a row they played the same team, and that is what he does. And now he's going to lull you into thinking,
exactly.
You know what? Actually, he's got to settle back four, or he's happy with Doku on that left. Everyone brings Doku in, everyone brings Kuznov in, and then all of a sudden, Savinho starts. Doku's not even in the squad. It just all goes Pete Tong.
I wouldn't be surprised if when he leaves City or retires, he does admit I did all that just to wind up people with fantasy football, in your face.
To win my mini league.
Yeah, exactly. That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. And to top it all off, I've sold 2 players this week and they both scored. Bruno Fernandes and Bowen. And last week I sold 2 players and they both scored. Semenyo and Carvalho. So
who are you selling this week, Ben?
Eh?
Who are you selling this week?
Yeah.
Probably at the moment the 2 defenders, Van der Berg and O'Brien. Hopefully Palmer's all right. If not, I might have to use a substitute next week. I think. But yeah, just a funny one. Yeah, Bruno Bowen out. I had to sell Bruno because of the money. Because I wanted Konsa or a Villa defender, but I couldn't afford it with Van den Berg, so I had to keep him for another week. So
I used to have Bruno. For me, used to be an absolute mainstay for DT, like absolute nailed on. But since they don't have Europe, I had him a couple of weeks ago as well. I took him out. Was it last week before last? Because he just, I mean, obviously plays every minute of every game of any competition, but because they're not in Europe now, it's not a strong DT player for me anymore.
Yeah, I was just going to say as well. I had a really bad start to the last week, and ended up finishing with 159 points. So it was a really good week last week with the midweek games. But this week I've got 36. Hopefully the midweek games bump me up a bit.
I don't reckon you'll get 150.
Unless Watkins goes absolutely mental.
Yeah.
Good.
Watkins hat trick.
Yeah. At least you've got the hope. You've still got the hope.
More like 10 goals than Watkins, but you never know.
I've got a Palace player, Jim. Put him in specially for you. News coming on.
He's a good pick. He's a good pick. Look, why he's a great player. Great player. And he's going to play almost every minute. 55
for the week. Roth's in goal. I think that might be his possibly last week now. Lacroix hit the crossbar, didn't he? That was quite close.
Yeah.
I went concert in. Defense not looking great, but again, still another game to go. O'Brien, maybe he plays. I'm not certain. Romero at the back seems to be doing quite well. He was close to getting free bonus again this week. Kudus, it was funny in our Discord, like, I think it was only half time and everyone was complaining about, or just before half time, everyone was complaining about Kudus, who's had like 1 PPM, not really done anything, and he's still come away with 10 points, 2 assists. Palmer, is it going to be another sub week? We'll have to wait and see. But I think it's going to end up being a sell. I think this groin thing seems to be going on a bit too long. So, I don't think I'm going to be having him too long. And then Anderson was my other transfer in. I was sort of flicking between the two because I haven't got many double game week players that were nailed, like a Watkins, for example. So for me, if I was going to have done one, it would have been Konsa or Anderson. But I just couldn't help but feel like, I mean, Anderson wouldn't have fit the bill of the opposite of Crocs and the opposite of Missionary. Even if I'd have captained him, it's hardly the exciting one. I picked him.
What is the opposite of Crocs? I mean, what's the other end of the scale?
I mean, you could put sport mode on your Crocs.
What on earth does that mean?
Do you know you got a little bit at the back? You can
like a spoiler on a car.
Yeah, you can put the spoiler up if you're going fast in your Crocs. Anyway,
wow, I've learned something today. I've learned that there's even less chance of me wearing Crocs.
Free bonus points for Anderson and the appearance points all add up. But I went for Salah, nice and safe. Just the assist though, 6 points. A little bit disappointing, but hey-oh. And then Haaland and João Pedro. I think until the Palmer injury, it was looking like a straightforward. Probably Roth's going out for maybe a sells and having some fun with the second one, maybe taking O'Brien out. But yeah, with these flags, it might change.
Yeah, it's been a nightmare. So many injuries early doors. All planning's going out the window in it. It's very much.
Is it? I thought during the summer, I wonder if there'll be more injuries this season because it's been like 2 or 3 seasons now that players have had no break. They're rolling into a summer tournament, then they're rolling into a pointless postseason tournament that no one cares about.
Yeah.
And so it's unsurprising that when the season kicks off again, they're getting these injuries. I think it was, pretty obvious it's going to happen. It's a nightmare for us though. Like for planning, it is a nightmare. But not that like my heart bleeds for people on £30 million a year, but like they are human. Like until like they work out how to make robots play football, and obviously with Haaland, they're almost there with the prototype. But until they actually do that, then these people are still going to get injuries. You can't play 100 games a year. Like it's unsustainable. So it's only going to make, I think, fantasy football even more annoying.
Yeah, was it the back end of the year as well that United and Spurs who flew straight out at the end of the season? They got straight on a plane and went out to like Thailand and
Wherever
Malaysia,
the cup is.
and you're just like, what? So you get these teams that are and these people within football just talking about dropping the League Cup, and then they're happy to just saying it's about player welfare, bleating about that. It's like they don't give a shite.
They don't care. No,
they just want the bigger money. We'll get rid
and
of
they're
the
all people normally who haven't played football. Like, not that you have to have played football to go into those positions, but I do think there's a disconnect where they don't really understand what these people go through. It's why we had a slow start last season. Palace, we brought in Ketia late in the window, and we only had JP Pateta up top, and he literally just come back from the Olympics with France. They'd gone to the final, played almost every game. I think he literally went to training after the Olympics final. I think they lost, didn't they? And then we had our first game of the season, and he had no break, and so of course he was really slow to start the season. It does make sense, but you're right. I think there is a level of mismanagement at the top where they basically see these players as numbers rather than actual people, and that's where my sympathy for footballers will end.
I need to take a leaf out of your book. Start talking to the personal trainers about fantasy and doing a bit less, bit less training, a bit more recovery.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the only time where footballers can ever look to me for advice. That is draw the line there.
I sent in our Arsenal group I'm in earlier a tweet that said Madueke's injury today confirmed means that Arsenal picked up at least one injury in every league game so far this season. So Madueke, Ødegaard, Saliba,
some stat that.
Saka, and then Havertz in the first one.
Get your violins out.
Yep. Right. If you've enjoyed it so far, drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. But we're going to ask an even bigger favour of you, if you don't mind. Tony, want to take it away?
Well, obviously, just announced today. I've been struggling to contain my excitement all weekend after receiving the email. I've been through quite a few bottles of champagne. Obviously, getting announced as a finalist in the FCA Football Content Awards 2025 it's a massive achievement. There's no downplaying it. I think we're the first ever Dream Team content or Dream Team podcast to be anywhere near these awards. So we're breaking boundaries. When we started the podcast in 2020, me and Ben, during COVID, we had nothing else better to do than just to start chatting Dream Team with each other. We'd never met before. We soon become friends, and then we brought James on board, who was in Bristol as well as a third amigo, and it went first couple of years like that. And then obviously we brought Scott and his production expertise in, and he's been an absolute diamond as well. And between all four of us, we do put a lot of effort in behind the scenes and stuff that you might not see. I know you do. I'm renowned for just Tony comes on, cracks a few beers, and it's away and talks nonsense about football. But I do love doing this, and we've built a really, really good community of people. We've had a couple of winners come from the group. It's been so much more than what we thought it would have been when me and Ben just first got chatting. So honestly, bottom of my heart, I'm really proud of it. Really, really proud of it. And we're gonna go to Ellen Road on 20th of November. Whether we win anything, we get a position. It doesn't really matter. We're there. We're in the final, and it means the world. So thanks to everyone that has subscribed, that's listened to us, listened to my moany Lancastrian accent for all these years, and just everyone that's put a bit in. Cheers to Ben, Scott, and Jambo, who is in the chat. I think he's back over in England from Venezuela. He does. I know he's not on the pods as much, but he still does quite a bit of work for us in the background. So hopefully we can go and do you even more proud and come back with a trophy. But yeah, it means the world. So if you can get voting. The link to votes in the bio. You'll drop it in the comments. It's in the Discord. We're going to plaster it everywhere. We're trying to get friends, family. Just try and try and get everyone to vote for us, because it'll mean the world to because there's some big creators within this category, especially in the FPL world, and it'd just be nice to see someone from the Dream Team side finally get a bit of recognition and a bit of award for it. It'd be nice. It'd be nice if the Dream Team lads could beat the FPL lads to the top spot. So yeah, thanks to everyone. If you're out, lads.
Right, Ben, we're going to go do the fixture ticker. You talk us through real quick where we're at, and then Jim is going to talk us through some Palace assets.
Yeah, we've got not far from the international break again.
Oh, God, really
Another
another
one.
one.
Shocking.
Yeah,
shocking.
so we're coming to the end of game week 5 with the Champions League. It's not Champions League. Oh, hang on. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Europa League. I need to look at my ticker. Yeah, Europa League is on this week with Aston Villa playing Bologna and Nottingham Forest playing Betis. Palace don't come into Europe till next week. That's when the big Europa Conference reveal starts.
I'll find out if I got a passport or not.
Yeah, hopefully you've got your passport in time. So yeah, Carabao Cup this week. We've had the who played in the Carabao Cup? Villa, Forest, and Palace last week, and Brentford. Now we've got the other teams that are in Europe: Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, Newcastle, Chelsea, Tottenham. Probably going to be a lot of rotation this game week for the big boys. But yeah, hopefully, if you've brought any Villa and Forest players in, they should get 2 games this week. Next week, everyone's in Europe. That's in Europe is going to be playing, and like you say, Palace. We've got you on here to discuss the double game weeks coming up for Palace. Yeah, do you want to go into that? Obviously, game week 7 is a single game week before the double game before the international break.
Yeah,
looks like in October you're the only team with a guaranteed 5 games as well. Is that because the extra fixture is it for Europa Conference League teams? I think.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously Palace are already through, so they're guaranteed the Carabao Cup 4th round in game week 9. It's not on the screen. If you go to the fixture tickers on the Patreon, it'll be on there. But yeah, as you scroll through it, you'll see what teams have got the most games and guaranteed and that. Yeah. So Palace and Brentford are the only 2 teams that are at the Premier League. They're definitely in the next round.
And obviously we'll find out by the end of the week who else goes in. And I guess the draw will also be Thursday.
Yeah, it'll be at the end. Yeah.
So on that note, loads of doubles coming for Palace. Who do we think are going to be the sort of best Palace assets this season? Obviously, there was a few last season still with likes of Ezra and Munoz, but from your crop now, or Henderson even. But yeah, who do you think are the top ones at the moment that might be considered?
If Ebbs had stayed, then he would have been an absolute nailed in my team. Obviously, he's gone to you guys, and actually, to be honest, we're not like most fans, Palace fans. Like when someone goes, we don't forget about him. Actually, we're enjoying seeing Ebbs do quite well. I think him getting that assist at the weekend, we all want him to do quite well. So, I think a lot of us have sort of watching out on Arsenal games, apart from when you play us. Obviously, he's guaranteed to score against us when he comes back. But anyway, there's a few areas of our squad where we are super light, and so those are the kind of players in those positions that I think will get most minutes. I mean, the obvious one is Daniel Munoz, who I don't know what is up with him, what he's drinking and eating and fueling himself with, because that guy can run and run and run. And will almost certainly play. I'd say he's up there for probably most minutes, certainly across October. We literally have no one else to play in his position. I think Nathaniel Klein is our only other player, and he's not really even a right wing back. So, but obviously Munoz is very expensive. Last season, brilliant pick. He's obviously super expensive now, but at least if you pay that premium, you are going to get minutes out of him. He will definitely play the European games. He'll definitely play most of the league games. The only thing that stops him is an injury. Well, he seems fairly injury-proof, touch wood. Now I've said that, he'll probably break his leg, but he will be nailed on. The back three are pretty nailed. Richards, Lacroix, and Gahey. The only thing is he does like to rotate in the domestic cup games. Europe, I still think he'll go pretty strong with them. Again, you're only an injury away, really. But I think if you're picking any of that back three, you're probably guaranteeing yourself quite good minutes. We had a young French guy called JD Canvo who played against Millwall, who we signed in the window, who looks very good. And he impressed in that game, but he's only 19, so he's not going to get tons of minutes. But he might be there for League Cup games, FA Cup games. I don't know. It depends who we get. But I think in Europe, Glasner is a cup manager. I mean, obviously, literally won us 2 trophies this year, which is crazy. And he's not the sort of manager to go too weak in cups. So he will definitely play strongest team possible in the Conference League group games.
Does that include Henderson?
I think it does. I mean, Benitez played in the against Millwall last week. Did very well. I think he broke his finger though, so he wasn't even on the bench at West Ham at the weekend. It was Remy Matthews, who, bless him, is a lovely guy, but you don't want him anywhere near your first team. So
maybe Henderson gets the cup as well when the next round comes. Possibly.
Depending on what Benitez, yeah, maybe. I mean, again, he's another one that just plays and plays and plays and has never let us down. You're going to get good minutes out of him. You're going to get good minutes out of the back three. Mitchell will rotate with Sosa. That is one you can be guaranteed. I think Sosa probably plays most of the European games. Wasn't brilliant against Millwall last week, but clearly can play that position. And Mitchell, we've been saying for ages, just needs a break. And as soon as last season they got Chilwell in and started resting Mitchell, his form in the league improved massively. And even this weekend, Sosa plays midweek. Yeah. And Tyreek pops up with a brilliant goal at West Ham. Obviously very rare. He's not scoring that every week, but I do think he's going to be more consistent this season with Sosa there, but the minutes are going to be split almost down the middle. So I probably wouldn't go to either of those unless Sosa is absolutely terrible in our first European game, because Mitchell's very reliable. But I don't think Mitchell's a particularly massive sort of points hauler anyway in general. But Mateta will obviously play most games, but he is knackered. The poor guy needs a break. Our problem is we've got no replacement. Even Eddie Nketiah is obviously not a like-for-like replacement. I quite like Nketiah. But even at the weekend at West Ham, he came on in one of the number 10 positions, and poor old JP had to struggle on up top. And the guy looks like he's not got the energy to get out of bed, let alone play 90 minutes of top-flight football. And
Eddie will work really hard, but he's the polar opposite of Mateta, isn't he? When you look at him,
you can't hold it up. You can't hold it up. You can't bully defenders. And Mateta is... I mean, his journey is incredible, because 2 years ago we were ready to ship him out. He was terrible, and then it's like he sort of like ate a magic bean overnight or something, or visited by a fairy godmother, like found a lamp. Something happened because he suddenly was like, "Oh, I'm a big guy. I can win headers and beef defenders," and then started actually dominating games and scoring goals. And now he's one of only a handful of players to score 50 goals for Palace, and he's our second top Premier League goal scorer of all time. Like he's mad. Yeah. He will play when he can. He will definitely play, and he's on penalties, and he's definitely on penalties now that Eze's gone. But I think he probably was number 1 penalty taker anyway. But the poor guy needs a break, so he will get rested. Maybe not our first European game, but definitely League Cup. Definitely. That will be Eddie or Sarr when he's back, can play up top. Sarr could be a really interesting pick, because in those 2 number 10 positions, Glasner loves this big number 9 and 2 narrow 10. So it's not like Arsenal's front three. It's quite wide. It's a narrow 10. And when it was Eze and Elise for those few games, my God, that was just fantastic. Last season it was Eze and Sarr, so a bit different. Sarr a bit more direct than Elise, but really settled into that role. And now it's Sarr and probably Pino, but Pino needs time to settle. Like, he looks good, but he's super raw and needs time to bed into the to English football. Although I think has looked quite good in his first few games. And what I like about him, and he actually picked up an injury at West Ham at the weekend, which may be a knee injury, which doesn't look ideal. But he got that by making a block in his own box. So he's already like tracking back and buying into that Glasner system. Yeah. So I think at some point it will click for him. should have scored against Sunderland, like had a few chances against Millwall, been unlucky. And maybe in hindsight, it wasn't a great pick because he obviously isn't settled. But I think when he does, he'll do well. Sarr, like Mateta, will play every minute until his legs don't work. So he will. Glasner loves him because he runs and runs and runs. He does the defensive work, but he's also very threatening going forward. Stretches defenses, works on the counter, works brilliantly with Mateta. So he will play again until he picks up an injury, which he did.
Is there an update on him?
Sorry?
Is there an update on his injury?
Glasner said before West Ham that he would be back sort of available for Liverpool, that West Ham was too soon. But I think now with Pino picking up an injury, he pretty much has to play. Because otherwise, that leaves us with Justin Devaney. And bless him, what a nice young lad. But he is not a number 10. He'll work and work, but he doesn't have the quality. He's really a number 6. I said to my Palace mates, he's the new Jeffrey Schlupp. Because he's already played left wing back for us against centre mid, number 10, both sides. He'll end up playing everywhere because he's a nice guy and he'll crack on with it. But I don't think he'll ever probably settle in a position. But again, if we have injuries, if Pino's out for a while and Sarr's not ready, Devaney could be a great pick because he'll play. He'll definitely get minutes. I just don't think he'll probably do much, but he'll definitely get minutes. And then the other one is Daichi Kamada, who's also had his own journey at Palace because he joined it just over a year ago and started so slowly and looked really like paperweight and just paper thin, lightweight. I've mixed those two together and really struggled. And then over the course of the season, really settled in and was probably one of our best players in the cup final and really found his form towards the back end of the season. But now he's being asked to play a few positions. Again, he's probably more a centre mid, but he's having to chip in at number 10 and do his bit. And he's a Glasner signing. Glasner had him at Frankfurt, I think it was.
Yeah,
he again will play, but you really want, if you're going to be picking Palace midfielders, you want the likes of Sarr, who will actually deliver you points and assists. Kamada's very tidy and will tick over, but probably won't have that attacking output that Sarr and I think Pino will have over time. But yeah, and in terms of everyone else in the squad, I mean, Wharton will also play as well, but I don't know. Got a 7 there. I think he got the assist for the. I got the 7. It was never his assist. I cannot work out the rules and assists anymore because it wasn't. Mitchell was not the intended target. He looped it in the box for Kamada, and it's a good ball. But I remember moments last season where like someone would play it into the box and it'd get a slight flick off, and the Premier League would be like, "No, that's not his assist." And then this season, Wharton's getting an assist for playing the ball to someone else. But again, he will play every minute he's available. So if you want like guaranteed minutes for people that will tick over, Wharton, Kamada, Mateta, your back 3 are good. But if you want explosiveness and actual numbers, Sarr when he's back and probably Pino, but maybe he's a wait and see.
If it wasn't Munoz, who would you out of the 3 other centre backs? Who would you pick, sort of going into this week? Or, I mean, it is a tough week with Liverpool being in part of the double, but going forward,
I think Lacroix will definitely play both games. Richards will. If there's anyone's going to be dropped for the second game, it's probably Richards. Although he was unbelievable against West Ham, he was so good. Aerially dominant, and maybe actually I don't know how Dynamo Kiev play. Last time I saw Dynamo Kiev play, Sergei Rebrov played up front for them, so I can't tell you anything about them. But if they're direct, then actually that's ideal for Richards because his aerial numbers are brilliant. And obviously Gahey will play every minute, club captain, and may will get taken off early like he did against Millwall, but he's very reliable. But probably Lacroix. I think Lacroix maybe has the biggest threat down the other end as well. As you said, really unlucky not to score against West Ham. So probably him, but I don't think you can go wrong with any of them. It might come down to what you can afford, but they'll all get decent numbers, I think. Certainly over the course of like the next 6 weeks.
And then last one I was going to ask, let's say we want to go for a European goalkeeper. Do you think it would be worth paying the extra sort of 0.7 to get Henderson over maybe a Sells?
Currently, it depends what you think about Forest under Big Ange. Are they going to rip up the rule book and stop being good defensively? Is he going to ask them to play a high line when they got have pacey defenders like he did at Spurs? Like, I liked Sells and he was reliable last season, but I think I'm fairly confident Henderson will play most of those European games. if we're already through and we play Shelbourne in December, yeah, that's a Benitez game. But I think Henderson probably plays the first 3 European games anyway. So probably for October, you're probably covered. Definitely plays all the league games. His only issue is picking up injuries, but I don't feel like he's had many injuries with us. So he's pretty reliable and he's very consistent. And that's also the thing about all our starters. And I think this is down to Glasner, the way he set us up. They're very consistent performers. You know what you're getting with Henderson. His ceiling's pretty high. He normally matches it. That back 3 are consistent. They don't really make many mistakes. The Bowen goal at the weekend is kind of quite rare for Palace to switch off like that from a set piece. Don't really do that much. So, you know, if you want people that are going to play and probably tick over, yeah, your back 3, Munoz and Henderson probably, and probably Mateta are there. But I think Henderson probably plays, most minutes.
Does seem perfect for this game, don't it? Palace.
Yeah.
You much rather back Henderson rather than Sells, wouldn't you? Like you say, you've got the solid defence in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
Cracking team, cracking manager. As Forest, you just don't know what's going to happen there now.
Yeah. They're a wait and see. They might be brilliant. Forest might click under Ange and then suddenly, like, you know, especially going forward, he gives White and Ndoye. I really like the look of Ndoye. Like, I know they got such a big squad and they couldn't even fit Hutchinson into the European squad. So they will probably rotate more so going forward. We don't have the options to rotate. So we will probably, I do slightly worry in terms of, as a Palace fan, that maybe by November, some of these guys will run into the ground. So I don't think that's ideal for us. I've just seen on the one I haven't mentioned, Uche on the bottom of that list is very interesting. I mean, he was literally playing non-league Nigerian football like 3 years ago. Had a massive sort of fast track campaign, and he's come off the bench a couple of times. He came off against Millwall. I thought he might get time against West Ham and didn't. And maybe he's being managed, but he looks chaotic. He looks very like early Balassi vibes in that you don't even know if he knows what he's doing with the ball. But he will probably get minutes in Europe again because of our lack of options. So he could be really interesting. And actually, in some of those kind of like chaotic away European games, he could be the perfect energy to come off the bench and just do something crazy. So he might play his way into some points actually at some point.
Looking forward to seeing it. It's going to be exciting.
Me too, until I'm sort of stuck in the middle of Lublin with a drone flying over my head and I can't find my...
If you get there.
If I get there, exactly. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise that the passport doesn't turn up. Maybe it's the universe trying to tell me not to risk it.
Right, let's take some questions from the Discord and our YouTube channel members. So Roberto was the first one. So this is for sort of this week. Are there any 3.2 or lower players that you'd sub in for the midweek cup games when you know they're starting? So from the remaining games, I think there's going to be so much rotation. But I'm going to throw Dalman in there from Arsenal. I think he might end up playing. And they've obviously not... They'd have to have not played any minutes in the previous one, which makes it a little bit tough. Any others jump out? It's going to have to pretty much be a wait and see the lineup, isn't it, really?
You have to see the lineups. And even then, the pool's going to be so small, isn't it?
I don't like the idea, to be fair, personally. But then again, I capped Salah.
Remind me of this sub rule. Again, I don't really read stuff properly, like, and that includes like work emails and like texts from my wife. So just remind me, like, this is someone who can sub in if one of your players has played and not done well, right?
No. So if you've had a person in your team that wasn't in the lineup or didn't get any minutes, they're eligible to be taken out for another player that hasn't played any minutes. It's only very slim pool. I'll put Chiesa, Dalman. You might get some Guiu at Chelsea or Gittins, but I don't think any of these are good. They are a real punt. I don't think any of them are going to be worth the sub, to be honest. I'm sorry, Roberto.
Yeah.
Roberto said he's from... I think he said he's from Bas Vegas, actually, so I'll have to drop him a message after. Let's go on to the next one. So Shane McClear says, what does Eze's benching against City tell us about how Arteta will use him this season? Will he favour Martinelli / Trossard in a game where he needs more defensive qualities, such as Newcastle away? Or does the assist change things? What did you think, Jim, seeing him benched?
Not massively surprised. He's obviously new to that elite level of football. It's done brilliant for us, obviously. Eze at Palace will play every minute, but I'm not hugely surprised. I think it's really good for him that he came on and had immediate impact. I think that's like huge for him. Obviously, I think it probably helps that the Arsenal fans love him already. He's a very lovable character. He's a beautiful player to watch. Glides across the pitch when he's on form, and he's a very likable guy. So that probably will help him. But he hasn't played European football before. He hasn't been at a team that's got players as good as him or better in competing positions. So I don't know. And he will blow hot and cold. Like, he is brilliant on his day, but he will have games that pass him by. And I think at Palace, you can sort of get away with that. Although Palace fans used to get annoyed by it sometimes. But I think at Arsenal, that quickly will make you fall out of the team. There was one game last season. And the thing about Eze is he's like a five-a-side player who can obviously play 11-side. That's a horrible way to describe him. Sorry, I've really boiled that down to something that's not relevant. But by that, I mean, he loves holding the ball. He loves keeping hold of the ball. And there were times last season when we were playing on the counter where it looked like it was on and he'd turn back. He does a little half turn and hold on to it. And there was a game last season where I can't remember who it was against, someone we should be beating or whatever. And he did that, and the crowd went, oh, you could hear the whole crowd going, Ebbs. And he literally turned around, put his foot on the ball, and did this to the crowd, calm down. I've got this. As you can imagine, didn't go down brilliantly. And Glasnow on the touchline, move the ball forward. So he kind of does his own thing sometimes. But I do think that maybe the way Arsenal play and sort of that domination of the ball might suit him better. At Palace, we just need to sometimes get on the counter and make things happen. But I do think, as a fan, I think you guys will fall in love with him pretty quickly. He is a beautiful, beautiful player, and sometimes that love, I think, will also make you give him a bit of a
bit more leeway
on the games where he doesn't impact as much.
I did listen to an Arsenal podcast today, and they said it was at half time when everyone went for a beer. Typically, everyone is still having their beer just as the whistle's going, sort of thing, for the second half. And apparently on the TVs, they source the halftime subs of Saka and Eze both coming on. Apparently, people were just leaving their beer, just ditching
Really?
it to get back to their seats really quickly. So,
I love that.
Yeah, I just think it was a thing where it's City. If it was anyone else, well, actually, I say if it's anyone else, it's Newcastle away next. I think after that game, we'll start to see him trusted for some of these other games, but I still think the way Arteta is a little bit negative. The Liverpool game, the City game, Newcastle away is always a spicy one. I think there is a chance that he does opt for a Martinelli maybe, or someone he trusts a bit more to do the dirty stuff. But I think he's going to end up being a really good dream team pick. I just don't know if it's next week.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Same, do you reckon, lads?
Yeah.
I think we all think he should start.
I think you just got to... He's got to start to gel with the players and stuff. It's easily a big signing like that. You think just straight in. I mean, Gyökeres has just gone straight in, hasn't he? But he's a very, very good footballer. So talented. I'm sure within a couple of weeks he'll be, probably after international break, he'll be probably in the side, and then he'll probably never lose his place.
If the Madueke injury is bad, I know Saka's back now on the right anyway, but I did think once Saka was back, Madueke and Eze may fight out for the left-hand side from time to time, but that's, again, one less player in the equation. So,
yeah.
Grommers, is Reinders a set and forget? Tony, you've got him.
Yeah, I would looking at his positioning against Arsenal, and he was literally up at some points. Obviously, in the first half, was up alongside Haaland, and that's only good for points. He's another talented player. Obviously, coming to this league, and you never really know. You see him do a bit in pre-season, and that you're never 100% sure. It's always a bit of a risk throwing in someone who's new to the league, but I think he's just took it in his stride. I think he's suited to this league. He's got high energy. Again, he's got a shot on him. He's a decent finisher. Got an eye for a pass. Really nice assist to Haaland. Carried the ball so well. And when you thought maybe he possibly held it too long, he found the right pass and made it pretty easy for Haaland, to be fair. Good finish. I think when you've got someone playing in the side like City and playing so high, and now Rodri's back, I can't see him ever getting dropped back into that 6 or the 8. I think he is going to play up there in that 10. Yeah, I can't see him leaving my team for a good chunk of it, probably through injury, I'd say. I think he's now, setting my team. Although I weren't saying that after he missed that one-on-one the other week. But yeah, he's grabbed an assist and his positions. I like his positioning.
Any of you guys, Ben or Jim, considering it? The fixtures are really nice for City, and I mean, we've all probably got Haaland, but it's kind of like, do you want to add another one? And if you do, is it like a Doku? Is it a Foden? Or is it the guy that gets the minutes all the time?
No, I've been burnt too much by Foden and Doku in the past. Like I just don't trust their minutes at all. I'm not even sure I trust them as players. But Reinders is he'll just take over when I'm assuming we'll play most midweek. I don't think he'll play against Huddersfield, but I think he'll play. Is Huddersfield?
Yeah.
I don't think he'll play. I think he will play most European games. He's a lovely footballer. Great intro. I had him in the other one for the first week, and obviously it was lovely. And then he obviously a bit quieter, but he was brilliant against Arsenal. So and as Tony says, like lovely assists, like the timing and the weight of pass, like absolutely spot on for Haaland. So yeah, I think to be honest, if you haven't got him, which I don't, now might be the time to jump on because his price is only going to go up. Can't see him being someone that really drops price that much. So just going to take over. So. Yeah, I might have to break my rule of no more City. Have
you got a City shirt? You've got just about. I've seen you've had just about every other kit.
Yeah, so I do have a lot. I get a lot of comments of people saying, "Why have you got all those? How do you afford all those kits?" And the question is, my children don't eat, but it is worth it. It's worth it for the 2021 Man City shirt I've got. Actually, a few of them I accidentally stole from a previous job, which I won't say too much on here, but a few of them.
You can tell us after.
Yeah, I'll tell you after. But yeah, I do have a shirt from every team.
Ben, you put Doku in. Just remind you, you're on mute. You put Doku in. Was Reinders ever in the equation for the last week, or is it the Doku price rise that got you there? But would you consider Reinders as well?
Yeah, I definitely consider Reinders. He's definitely up there, probably in my top 2 this week. For a midfielder coming in. I wanted Doku because I thought he's when you got these Carabao Cup games, you know that the nailed players aren't going to play 2 games. So your Salahs and your Haalands most likely aren't going to play. But Doku's like on the periphery of the first team, isn't he? He's going to get minutes, but he might play in the cup. So that's why I brought him in this week. I thought he might get bonus points against Arsenal, but I'm hoping he plays Vale. Port Vale. So yeah, that's why I brought him in, and I like the double game week next week with Burnley and Monaco as well. So and then it goes into Brentford. It keeps going. So yeah, I wouldn't mind having another Man City midfielder in the next week show with Reinders, especially in playing number 10, and he's just getting up there with Haaland, and he can score loads of goals. You've seen it in Italy as well. So he's a decent player, and he looks like he's playing 80, 90 minutes every week, so decent pick.
Yeah, I think I agree. I was drawn to like looking at Doku or Foden for next week, but I typically always go for the sort of like minutes man, maybe a bit less flary. But yeah, I don't know why. I was thinking I like to look at Doku more, but I think it does make sense, Reinders. Ian says, if Watkins blanks versus Bologna, do I just bite the bullet, take him out, despite his decent upcoming free fixtures? His dropping budget's too severe considering his price. He's already lost 0.5 on him. Tony, Ben, you both got him. What will you do if
So
the
tough.
unthinkable happens?
It is so tough because he has got the fixtures. He's got a double, the good fixtures. It's. Do you take another point? I'd look at, say, the rest of your team. If somebody is going up 0.3, can you afford to just go out? I might be taking him out in a week's time, so I'll use that 0.3 and just offset it against Watkins and give him another chance. The fixtures are there. I'm about to say he's a goal scorer, but
Was
He was on fire in pre-season.
yeah. I
scored too many in pre-season, didn't he?
just don't know what. I can't put my finger on it, but you know what dream, not just dream team, but you know what Watkins is like, don't you, Scott? He's burnt you a few times.
Yeah, every format is. Every time I've got him, he does nothing. You take him out straight away.
Yeah.
So that's why I've given him extra leeway in all the other games where I've got him. But this week was the week I had enough.
Yeah,
I think this midweek game is the easier of the two games. At home in Europe. Look, Sunderland have come up. They've got a cracking keeper. They're physical. They're committed. They look on it. They really are going to compete in every single game, Sunderland, and they're going to work hard to keep them sheets clean. So when you're not firing quite as much, I don't think Sunderland's probably the team you want to go up against.
Yeah.
So I'll let him off this one. Let's see what he does against Bologna. He will hopefully come out a little bit more and leave a bit more space in behind for Watkins, but we'll see. We'll see. It's tricky. You play fixtures. You've got to you do have to take on form, but just be wary if you do take him out, it could hurt you.
Yeah, fixtures bring form, don't they? That's why I brought him in for this double game week, and then obviously he goes into Fulham at home and Feyenoord away, and then Burnley in the single at home. So it's a decent hold. It's just if you've got literally nothing else to do in your team, you could sell him for someone else. But there's not many options really in attack. Like João Pedro, he's got Brighton and Benfica. Man City, obviously Haaland. Liverpool's got Crystal Palace away and Galatasaray away. It's not a nice double game with that, is it? Tottenham's got Wolves and Bodo, but do you trust Richarlison? Is it worth the transfer? I mean, he might be going up in price this week, Richarlison, because he scored at the weekend, but he's not going to play. Is he going to play? He's going to play. Will he play Doncaster midweek? So it might offset his price rise. He might come off the bench for 20 minutes or something. Yeah, I think I brought him in for these games. I thought it was worth the gamble, and I brought in Doku to get the price rise. So I lost out on Watkins, but I knew I'd get the price rise on Doku, like you said before. Offset the price rises.
Yeah.
You've tackled his number 3 as well. His number 3 was Thoughts on Richarlison.
So they are.
Yeah. Well, so he thinks it could be amazing over the next 2 weeks. Plus, he's cheap and getting a 0.3 rise.
Oh, you muted yourself. Ben, you muted yourself there.
As I was reading that, my screen went black.
It looked like you smashed your laptop.
Press the space bar.
Too angry
Yeah, I
about
smashed the space bar as it went off.
He's burned me too many times before.
Yeah. I'm not sure about Richarlison.
Fuming.
I'm not sure about him either. Like he's one of those picks where if it goes well, that's like it hits double, doesn't it? Like that hits really good, but if he doesn't, very annoying player to own. So, and our minutes are risk as well. I don't know. Tell gets games, doesn't he? So, I don't know.
Yeah, they've got Cole and Milani as well waiting in the wings.
Yeah. Solanke can't be far off, can he? Well, I've been waiting ages for him to come back.
He'd never had an injury or something at Bournemouth. We were going on about, weren't we?
That's the Ange effect, that.
And he's never been fit for
It's
Spurs.
very Spursy.
Yeah, he's got on Spursy, hasn't he?
That reminded me, actually. Joe said, hope your personal trainer's not listening, Jim.
I hope he is. He's a great personal trainer. I wouldn't say anything on here that I wouldn't say to his face or WhatsApp him about. So it's all good.
I missed Ian's second question. Is Roths worth keeping for the extra week to fight fires elsewhere? Lacroix dropping and as a hard week potentially. Oh, and potentially Watkins dropping. Yeah, what do we think of this Palace week? Because obviously Liverpool at home, and then it's Dynamo away. But you're in such good form. What do you think of the Liverpool game?
I think Palace will turn Liverpool over.
You think? We'll definitely give him a go. Like, we are under this manager, we kind of fear no one, and he goes into every game thinking they can win it. So they'll definitely try. I think I wouldn't be surprised if we sneak it, but I also wouldn't be surprised if we lose 2-1, 3-1. Like, I think we'll probably score. I think the defenders will be in a lot of action. But yeah, I wouldn't be if we snuck it 1-0. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. So, and then obviously the slight problem I think with Palace assets is this first European game will be interesting. Obviously, we had the playoff against Fredrikstad, so that was at least a kind of a little taster. I think we'll go strong against Dynamo Kiev. I don't know how it's going to play out. It might be wait and see possibly until we got some slightly nicer doubles, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do something against Liverpool.
Yeah, I'd be sticking with Palace for this week. I'm not too fussed about if Lacroix's dropping, for example. I think I trust your defence. They'll see a lot of action, won't they?
You'll make that back, that money, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't want to end up moving too far away from your European setup either, as well. Like,
exactly.
Getting everyone in place for it. I'll be wearing a Palace shirt definitely for the Liverpool game.
You can't.
Well, I've got loads of shirts now. I can lend you one. I've got literally.
Any Eze ones?
You can't be running away from that Liverpool fixture with your Palace assets.
No,
you've got them. They're holds now, aren't they?
Yeah. That's those ones. Jay Baker. Is it really the end of the world not going for doublers? E.g. Palace this week have Liverpool and a Conference League game, as we sort of covered that bit, versus, say, for example, a Bournemouth player against Leeds. So we'd imagine a Semenyo, for example. Surely it's better to go for someone with a really good single rather than a double with a bad game, and the game players might not even play. He said, sorry if it's a long-winded question, but no, I think that's fine. And one we do seem to get like this sort of time of each season, I think, the single or double debate. But I think Palace are not that don't sort of fit that bill because, like Jim said, like so many of the Palace players are nailed for two. Like you would imagine, I think you'd get near to the first 11 for both of those games next week. So they're probably not the best example for it, but Tony's got the champagne out.
Wow.
Oh, I've just run out of beer.
Hey, start the week as you mean to go on, mate. It's only Monday. You crack on.
I'm always joking.
We won't judge.
I'm downstairs and get a can.
That's why it's called the Tonic, isn't it?
Exactly. Hey, you got to live up to your billing. Come on.
Oh, I've just sent Coors an email just to see if they'll sponsor pod.
Even support it. Anyway, I just think this single double debate, like typically, I think always if you can get now doublers, they are typically going to outscore the single game week players, just even with like the appearance points, and there's so many different routes to points on this game that it typically does always work out.
I think like give yourself an extra chance. Also, like in the 4 years I've been playing it, rarely it happens, but like I can't remember many times when a single game week player is like massively outscored doublers. It does happen, obviously, but
yeah, every week you can. I mean, this is one of the things. It's really easy to, after a game week finishes, look back at what's happened and go, "Oh, look, this player who had a single done really well, and this player that has a double didn't." But it's always easy to connect the dots looking backwards, but on a sort of average, if you play that way over the course of the season, you'll typically end up better off going for the double game.
And I can think of so many examples where going into the Thursday night game or whatever, Bruno Fernandes has popped up with a couple or something.
Yeah.
And it has tipped it over into the double game week. Like I do, obviously, they're talking about Semenyo against Leeds. I'd imagine, who I have, and probably going to have to keep him. But I don't hate that. That's a good fixture for him.
Yeah, it's
But
not.
If I could, I would go for the double up. It just also, as I said earlier, it just keeps your week more interesting, and so that generally does drive me a little bit, keep my week interesting. But I think, as you say, over the course, it averages out. I think in the double.
Yeah, there'll always be exceptions. Like as a really good example again, like even when he had the single game weeks, like some people might have got him in for the FA Cup previous seasons and then kept hold of him because the fixture was good. Like there will always be a few that are decent, but I do think as a general rule, it will average out over the season if you do tend to play that way, I think.
Yeah.
Saka for next week or wait for another game week? Is he on your radar?
He's on my radar. I just logged in actually, and I didn't realize I'd actually already. After our chat, I think I'm going to go Reinders, but I actually did have Saka down. Madueke updates will be interesting. I think at some point you probably will want Saka. I don't know. He's one of those ones where he's been brilliant for me and also incredibly frustrating. Been a couple of weeks where he's got injured early, or he's an interesting one. But I like him as a player. I think he's brilliant. I don't know. Probably for me is a wait and see, but obviously you'll have more insight into this, I think. But as an outsider, I'm probably still wait a bit.
Yeah, I think we have all been stung a few times with Saka. Then you're always playing the waiting game, aren't you, with Arteta? Will he, won't he? Will he turn up? But I think if I had to predict this week, it would probably be something like 70 minutes against Newcastle, maybe depend on the game state. And then I think, again, maybe like a 60-70 in the Champions League. But again, if we're 2-0 up, then I think he could just get an early sub again. Personally, I do think we need to be careful with him. Especially hamstring injuries, they do seem to reoccur, and he's had a few of them now. So I do think we'll try to be careful with him. But I don't really know who the options are if Madueke is out, whether it's Martinelli on the right, which wasn't good last season. Dalman
Where's Nwaneri?
It doesn't look like he wants to play Nwaneri in that role.
Right.
At the start of the season, he sort of set out that he would be the Erdegaard sort of replacement. But then Marino's come and started to do really well as well. So it's kind of knocked Nwaneri down the pecking order. I think it will be Saka, Madueke, Dalman as the sort of hierarchy for that right-hand side. But if it comes down to the crunch, I mean, he's a kid, isn't he, Dalman? So
yeah, looks good.
Yeah. But will you go early on Saka, or will you be just waiting and give it a bit more time?
I think, like you say, with hamstrings, it's so iffy. It only takes one little bit of overexertion again, and he's breaking down again. So I'd probably give it a couple of games.
I would. He's probably going to get the price drop now as well because he's not going to play midweek. But I would be more inclined to, even though we know he's not completely nailed yet, I'd still favour maybe going Eze at this point. Even with that.
Just no fitness worries there.
Yeah.
Didn't Saka play in the Carabao Cup last season against Huddersfield or something like that?
Bolton.
Bolton, that was it, yeah.
But
he come off the bench.
I can't remember why.
And they were already winning as well. He just brought him on.
That was one of them games I looked back on when he ended up getting that long-term injury, and I thought they moan about the games, and again you're like, why did he play that game? But
I've just been looking at the fixtures there, and I think if Palmer doesn't play at the weekend, I might sub Saka in if he's starting against Newcastle, because it's the last game in the Premier League fixtures. And then you might get him for the Wednesday game as well in the Champions League.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's very interesting.
Because you're not taking the price drop then either, are you?
But you'll be taking the Palmer drop.
Yeah. I don't mind if Palmer's out for a couple of weeks. Hopefully he'll be back sooner rather than later.
After half of Dream Team would have used all of their subs on Cole Palmer at this point.
Yeah.
Got another international break as well, haven't we? coming up. Game week 7 after that. It's a single game week, so this double and then the single, and then we're international break again. So could hold on to Palmer.
The only thing that makes me kind of like, I mean, I have Palmer literally, but worried about Saka is there is nothing more annoying in fantasy football than bringing a player in or having them and them not starting or going off early or picking up an early injury. It is so annoying, which again is why I play quite conservative and tend to go for those players who crank out the 90 minutes most weeks, because at least then they're playing. You're going to get those appearance points, and then you open yourself up more opportunities for extra points. Nothing more annoying than bringing someone in and them not playing or being dropped or whatever it is. I just felt at the moment with Saka and obviously the Palmer news just makes me feel in my bones a bit like, And so if that's the case, then probably in the void for now.
Yeah, could do it Eza if he starts.
Yeah, I like, and the difference in price is quite, like, you could get an Eza and then maybe get an Arsenal defender instead of getting like just a Saka and a lower down defender. So that could be quite nice.
I prefer that.
We'll merge this with Noble's question, because it said, given that Palmer and Saka are both like glass at the moment, but there is a dearth of goal-scoring midfielders, we be buying, selling, or avoiding them at the moment. So we sort of covered Saka there, but we pretty much all either sell Palmer or sub Palmer.
Yeah, I think for me, I've got Enzo Fernandez sat in the team as well. And if Palmer's out, obviously Enzo gets the penalties. I'm hoping Pedro's flagged. So for me, I think Palmer's got to go. Too much money sat there if he's not going to be getting his groin right. I'm just very heavy Chelsea at the minute. I've got 4 Chelsea and 2 of them are flagged. So I think I'm going to be trimming that right down.
For you lads, sub or sell?
I'm going to sell Palmer, I think. It's too much money. There isn't actually a ton of great midfield options at the moment. I tell you, I do quite like. I don't know if it's now. I do like Bergvall at Spurs.
Yeah,
super cheap, and seems to play a lot and looks good. It's one of those players who is into his second season now at Tottenham.
Yeah,
some players take a while to settle, and he looks like he might be. I wonder if he might be one of those like cheap options that by December is in everyone's team. But other than that, like the midfield options aren't amazing. So it's not like you definitely got to jump on a Bruno or, even Enzo, like he's definitely in my thinking, especially if Palmer's out, but he's not a guarantee for returns most weeks. So I don't know. I'm happy I think I probably will go Reinders, I think, for all the reasons you guys spoke about before, and then use some of that money to sort of my defense and my keeper, because they are budget as hell.
If you're set up quite nice for the later weeks, you could even go City onto Arsenal, because the next week isn't the best week for Arsenal, but the week after that from then on is really good.
Yeah.
If you don't mind jumping between them. I think that answers Patrick's second one as well. Is Palmer too injury prone to justify keeping? I think we all sound like we're going to sell. He says he hasn't got Haaland. He's got Salah, Pedro, Richarlison. I like all of their chances next week. Would you shift any of those to make way for the Viking, who's probably going to be capped by most, surely, with that Burnley game?
Yeah.
Would you break that up? I think you've got to. Salah, Pedro, Richarlison. If Pedro does end up being a big concern, then that's your route. But guessing if he could do any of those out, it's got to be Richarlison, surely.
It is boring, isn't it? It is I admit that it's boring.
Well, Haaland.
It's boring. Haaland in for Richarlison, and that front three, but they're a very strong front three currently, and they're fairly consistent in returning and playing every minute. And it's boring, but like there is a reason people are boring. Like it does not in other areas of life. I mean, in fantasy football, like being boring doesn't pay off if you're a comedian, but like it does in in fantasy football, in DT, it does. I think right now Haaland looks. I'm last season I jumped off Haaland quite quickly because it looked like something was wrong with him, but he looks good right now. Scary not to own, I think.
Yeah. Anyone not capping him?
I'm capping him, I think.
Yeah.
Even I'm not taking that cap on.
Yeah, I was looking at this question and I was thinking, well, they're all good strikers. They've all got good double game weeks this week. Richarlison's got Wolves and Bode Glim. And I was thinking, 12-man Haaland. But I'd still want Haaland as the captain.
Yeah.
So if I saw Richarlison and brought Haaland in, I wouldn't 12-man Richarlison, would you? So I'd sell Richarlison. That's the way I looked at it anyway.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's really well said.
DT Philip, let's try and blast through some of these a bit quicker. So free transfers going into game week 6, no funds in the bank. Would you rather Porro to Romero to free up some funds, or would you bring someone else in? I mean, if it's not a problem owning Porro, but just if you need the money.
But Porro's last season, he was so consistent for me. I just like even like he'd have a quiet week and you think, oh, and then he'd haul in Europe the week after. He's fairly reliable, plays a lot of minutes. He's
got to get a return soon, hasn't he?
Yeah, I like him. But obviously, if money's an issue, then yeah, maybe because actually Romero and Van der Ven both look pretty good for their money. But
are you keeping Tony? You've got him.
Porro. Oh. Yeah, I've got it. I've got enough to sort out in my team and moving a player around with a ceiling as high as his. But yeah, he's not doing as well this season.
We've got some lag.
What happened there?
I can still hear Ben's clock.
I don't know. Am I lagging or is it you guys? I don't know.
Yeah, I just froze. I froze on purpose. It was Scott. It looks like it's Scott. I just froze for effect.
That's great. That's classic banter. I wish I'd done that.
Well, we'll keep rolling. Where was I now?
Scott is frozen apparently.
Oh yeah, Porro. So yeah, I mean, you've got enough stuff going on. You don't need Porro. You don't need to be messing around with Porro. But he has tailed off a little bit this season. We'll just have to see where that leads.
He feels. Oh God, I was about to say he feels very big, and he's not manager there anymore. Frank, I think he'll still be reliable for Thomas Frank. I think.
Yeah, I
got halfway through that sentence, or else I think I was about to say something completely different. I can't keep up with all the managerial changes. It's so annoying. Can they all just stay for 2 seasons? Just give us a chance to catch up. It's too much.
Yeah, they shouldn't be allowed to ditch them.
No, this should be give them a 2-year contract and that's it. You've got to stick with them. But no, I think Porro, just don't overthink it. I think with players like that.
Yeah.
Was it just me there?
Yeah, and me.
Yeah. Didn't want to say anything, but yeah.
I thought you were doing the mannequin challenge.
Oh, why do you keep jumping off the thing?
Yeah, take me out. I'm going to sort my internet out. Keep going.
I can't see questions, mate. Where's the?
Go in the Discord and get them.
Right, it's all gone Pete Song. Right, I'm on it.
1 sec.
The delights of streaming online. I have this all the time in my podcast. Just the absolute delights of the internet. We all now should have the best internet possible. We're in a world now, 2025. Everyone should have amazing internet, and yet we'll pay through the nose for it, and we still got terrible internet that's no better than dial-up that still lets us down. We're all making money and living off literal online content, and the internet still can't survive. It's just it's classic.
It's true, mate. It's true. Right, you can't see the questions, but I'm going to have to just fire through them on the air. So, second part of DT Phillips' question is, the other 2 transfers he's planning is Carvalho to Doku and Gusto to Williams. So Nico Williams trolled everyone this week, did he? Do you think these are good options, or is there anyone different you might bring in, Ben?
Yeah, I do like the Carvalho to Doku and the Gusto to Williams. Williams is only 3 million. If you want a European defender and you want an enabler, I think it's a good shout. 3 bonus points this weekend as well. I don't think he's going to score every week, but yeah. It's decent. Zinchenko caught my eye as well. Great player, only 2.7. Come out with 4 points at the weekend. But I think there's you're going to struggle to find a player that cheap for a European player. I was having a look earlier, and obviously Gusto's there, but he's a bit hit and miss because he gets rotated. 3.2. Tosin he's been playing every game apart from the last game, but he come off the bench because of the red card. 3.4 million. But Chelsea are rotating, and they've got Fofana as well, 3.1, who's just come back from injury. I'd still wait and see with that though. He was a fantastic player for Leicester. He was the Harry Maguire replacement. He was in the team for us who won the FA Cup and got us to the semi-finals of the Conference League. And then he had a nasty injury when he went to Chelsea. He's been out for like 2 years. Class player. James is 3.9. It's probably a bit of a stretch from Williams. But yeah, Cash and Constance the other two. So yeah, I think it's decent for short-term pick. Like you say, Forest are in Europe now. Sunderland in Midget Land this weekend. But Newcastle away, Chelsea at home, Porto at home. It's quite tough after that.
Yeah, what do you reckon, Jim?
My theory when you're looking at the sort of slightly cheaper options is you're basically paying for minutes. Don't worry too much about the returns. Like there's, as you're saying, some of those options there, Gusto and James, like you can't be guaranteed they're going to get many minutes. And again, there's nothing more frustrating. So just go for the players like a Williams that you're pretty confident are going to get minutes. And then again, they're on the pitch. And if they're on the pitch, there's a chance for them to actually do something. Yeah. And I do like him. I think he's decent. But when you're in the lower, when you're paying your 3 point somethings or your 2 point somethings, just get players that you're pretty sure are going to play.
Yeah, completely agree. He's asked what's the thoughts about rolling transfers going into the international break to cover any injuries that might be picked up. Obviously, when players go in the way, it is a frustration. You could come back and have 4 or 5 flags on your team. Obviously, the more subs you've got, it would be a nice thing to have. But the amount of injuries that are occurring right now, I've not seen an opportunity to roll transfers at the minute. Have you seen anything, Jim?
No, you hit the nail on the head. I do like rolling transfers when I can, and that normally is like how I try and play it. Although I haven't said that, making transfers, especially in DT, that's where the dopamine comes from me. Like that, it is really fun.
Yeah.
But as you say, at the moment, there's so many injuries. I think you're going to kind of have to. I think if you are rolling, someone earlier was rolling to 3. Like fair play to them. I don't know how they've done that. Yeah. I've been trying to, and I can't seem to find a way to keep these transfers. So I think if you've got 5s to put them out. If you're lucky enough to have a team where you can roll, then go for it. But I do think you need to just tackle your team where you have to. So, but yeah, it's going to be a hard season for rolling, I think.
Yeah, Ben.
I think Game Week 7 might be a decent week to roll if you've got your team pretty set up and you're happy with it. Because it's a single game week, you might be able to roll a couple of transfers there.
It's like say you just don't know where you're going to be, do you? Mm. It might be looking good last 2 games of the week, and you get a couple of injuries. It just changes all your thought process, all your plans. So we will see. Nobbles, I like this one. As you're a comedian on tonight, Jim, what's the funniest thing you have seen on a football pitch?
Apart from my own playing ability on a football pitch, can I go for that? My God, I was looking at that question just now, trying to think of something. I mean, I've watched Palace every sort of form of a format of Palace ever, from lower league, lower championship strugglers to where we are now. God, I'm trying to think. It might have to come back to me of trying to think of something funny. I mean, back in the early days, late 90s, early 2000s, we were just terrible the whole time. So everything was funny because it was just really bad, and you knew it was bad. Like watching Jermaine Easter try to play football, that was funny. But at the same time, it was also quite annoying because we got no one else that can do anything. In terms of like next to the pitch, I've been Pete the Eagle. Does that count? That was quite funny. The guy in the mascot. I say funny. It was quite sweaty. It's very sweaty. My mate. What was funny was my mate Rob, best mate Rob, who does a podcast with me. He was Alice the Eagle, so he drew the short straw and had to be the female mascot. And as we're going around the side of the pitch, we'd never done it before. We did it because our friends Lee and Kate, who Lee played for my Sunday team, they couldn't do it. But Rob forgot that he was the female mascot. So all the kids are going, hello. And he's going, all right, how you doing? I think he traumatized quite a few kids at Selhurst that day. But yeah, in terms of on the pitch, I'll come back to you at the end and I'm trying to think of an example. But the thing is, most of the time at Palace, we're either terrible or really good. Currently, there's nothing funny happening because we're just so good.
Yeah.
But back in the day, like, when you had Amir Karic playing half an hour and getting taken off against Wimbledon because he's so bad, that was just a common occurrence. But I'll try and think of an actual example later on.
Am I coming through now, lads?
Oh. Yes.
Loud and clear.
Internet. I'm had to put some money in a meter.
Did you have the lowest score table on the slides?
No, that's the one I haven't got.
Right, we'll just do it now then. So obviously, lowest score out the door. Just whilst we're reminded, because otherwise I'll forget. I did remove them the other day, but we do like to do it live on the pod. D Wheeler, 1 point shy. T Adams, you survived by a point, mate. Close one. But Wheeler, yeah.
Get out
the door, mate. You're gone. Unfortunately.
On your bike.
Yeah. On your bike. But yeah, I just thought I'd drop that in there because I know we'll forget. So, was it Nobbles? Yeah. Your OCD can settle, mate.
Sorted. I saw Chico half-time when I had a Southend United season ticket. That was one of the funniest things I've seen on a football pitch.
Chico time.
Yeah, Chico time. Where was he from?
X Factor or something.
One of those. Yeah.
Chico time.
Because
my God.
he performed live at half-time at Roots Hall.
And how did that go down? Did that go down? Was that well received?
He went. The best part of it, what made it so good, he was, what time is it? Dead silence. And
everyone's like, about 3:45, 3:46.
Someone a couple rows in front shouted, time for you to. Yeah, it wasn't great.
Poor Chico.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, what's he doing now, Chico?
I've got one for you. So I was at a Malaga pre-season game when I lived in Spain, and they were playing Newcastle United. You had Alan Shearer, Scott Parker, and Lee Clark on the bench, warming up on the sidelines. And obviously Malaga's like Costa del Sol, loads of Brits. So all the Brits were there in the crowd. And there was this Sunderland fan, there was a couple of them actually, with Malaga shirts on. And Alan Shearer's like warming up on the sidelines. And it's like a bit high up the stands. They're not like English stands where they go straight down to the grass. You got like on a balcony sort of thing all the way around. And so Alan Shearer's there warming up, and he just keeps seeing these Mackems going, "You fat Geordie bastard, Shearer, you fat Geordie wanker." And then Shearer couldn't take it anymore. He just turned around and he was like, "Come down here and say it to me face." Come down and they just going like that at each other for ages. So Scott Parker and Lee Clark grabbed old Alan Shearer and pulled him back. It's hilarious. It was a front page of the like Costa del Sol News the next day. Just seeing there.
To be fair, angry Brit fighting in the Spanish South Coast. I mean, it's not exactly happened before, isn't it? It's not news.
Have we done Shay's question on captaincy polls? Is that up next?
No, that's the next one, mate.
Captaincy polls. Are they a help or a hindrance? I'll put it in the poll now. Vote which one, help or hindrance. He was set on captaining Anderson all of last week, buckled last minute, changed to Salah due to the apparent large captaincy ownership threat based on a few of the polls we put in from a load of different Dream Team community posts on X and Nip and Half Pod, our own one on the live stream. You've caved to the peer pressure. Help or hindrance on the captaincy polls. I just think it's how you use it, isn't it?
Yeah. I think Haaland ended up being the most captain overall.
It was Haaland, wasn't it? Yeah.
He
What
had
was that
more
week before?
No, he had more percent than Salah from what I've seen.
Oh, in the actual result, who got capped the most?
Yeah, in like the overall game, not through our polls. So it's one of them. I don't. Salah didn't scare me this week because it's never really a battering against Everton. If they do beat them, it's not usually a high scoring game. He come away with 6 points. So I mean, Watkins only has to turn up for 60 minutes in that midweek game, and he's got 4 points. So I mean, he were awful. So yeah, it's whether you go in against or whether you go in for. You've got to have your own mind made up. I'd never base my captaincy decision off what other people are doing. I'd always go with my gut or with what I feel. So whatever, like this week, Watkins was 2.7% or something daft like that. I just felt that was the better option.
Jim's meter's run out now.
Yeah. So we'll stick 50p
in. Yeah, I mean, I like to see what people thinking, but I tend to just go with my gut with the captaincy. Depends like what part of the season it is as well. You know, if you're chasing, you're going to go different to the captaincy polling if you want to try and catch someone. But yeah, if you're trying to defend, then you probably will go with the crowd. I mean, I fancied Watkins this week, and I still do think he hopefully gets something against Bologna.
I mean, even just a few performance marks would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Or a shot on target, just anything, and we equal Salah. So
I just think that more information is fine, and it's just how you use it. I think.
Yeah.
Better to know what you're taking on, I think, and then it's down to you whether you want to take the risk or not. To be honest.
Definitely.
I don't think it's any fault of the captaincy poll.
It's
just you know what you're up against. But I do think the captaincy poll is usually an okay gauge week in, week out if you're completely unsure.
Jim's had a power cut.
It did look like his lights went out, didn't it?
Do you know it did? Look like that guy off. Do you remember? I might be showing a bit of my age here, but Atmosphere. Do you remember that game?
I've not seen it.
Atmosphere used to have a tape video player. You used to put video in. It used to time like an hour game. No. If anyone drop it in chat, I'm sure I'm not the only one that ever played Atmosphere. The Gatekeeper.
We better rush it along because I think everyone's dropped at some point in this episode, haven't they? Something spooky's going on.
Not me.
Oh, I think you froze for Ben, didn't you, at one point? leagues and get out of here. Well, we'll have to shout Jim out here because he's doing all right in this Dream Team Tonic guest league here. Oh, that Sam knows what you're talking about. She says love that game.
Yeah, I see. I'm not the only
one. Well, Jim is currently placed 6th in our Dream Team Guests mini league. I think he's had a slower week this week, but he was higher up when we added him in there. He was having a real good week last week. So currently top 3 of that one. I'm in 3rd. G Bristow, GB Fantasy Football last week, who joined us, is in 2nd, and he's been taken over by Andy Barnett. Is that your tag team partner there?
It is. He's absolutely flying.
Up at top. So yeah, new first place this week. Dream Team Tonic Cash League top 3. We've got G Precious in 3rd, M Berry in 2nd, and D Middleton in 1st. Got some new names in the list here.
There is.
Tonic members only. Got Jay Hannell, previous winner of Dream Team. Andy Barnett 2nd here as well, flying. And G Walker, top of the shop. I haven't put the tag team on there. There's still a couple names to go on, isn't there?
Yes, there is. But I think one of them is David Fawkes and his partner, and we're just holding it off because I think you'll go straight to the top.
Yeah, we'll shout them out because they're desperate, aren't they, for that shout out? Love it, don't you, David?
No, but yeah,
accusing me of corruption there. I said that I won't publish it until I'm top.
But yeah, I mean, I'm in 6. So
Jim Daly said, tell the guy in the comments who said I look like Dean Saunders to F off.
That was James. And that's his goodbye note.
He said he's powering back up, but he says, "Don't wait for me if you gotta shut off."
Should we wrap it? I'll plug him, plug his channels.
Yeah.
We've not had a nightmare like this. So that is that's the mini leagues. Sorry about dropping out there, and well, thanks Jim for joining us. You're free to join us after this if you want a quick chat afterwards as well. But I'll put his links in the description below. Jim Daly, he's got two pages on X. He's got Jim Daly Comedy, and he's also got FPL Jim as more of his like fantasy football. But he's got a really good that sort of TikTok page as well. And you probably have already seen some of his YouTube shorts and Instagram reels. So check him out on there as well. Jim Daly Comedy. And of course, his Crystal Palace podcast as well. So I'll link that in the description below as well. But cheers, Jim, and we might see you in a second if your power comes back. But yeah, a good one, that one.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
And if you would like to vote for us as well,
oh please do.
There'll be a link in the description for that too.
You're worth it just to get me up on stage after a few bevies.
Cheers, everyone. Like and subscribe. See you later, boys.
Cheers, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Have a good week.